Lots of NFL talk these days, lots of Seahawks talk as well as the rookies report to training camp today. But just around the corner is the college football season. And it's timely to have former Husky Terry Hollimon on this show with us today. And Terry, right now they got the Huskies picked 5th in the Big Ten this upcoming season. A little bit of respect there, but what do you think about the upcoming season?
Man, I'm really excited about the upcoming season. I'm always excited about college football. In my opinion, and I'm going on the record as saying this, I think that college football is the best sport in all of the sports. And, to have the Huskies here ranked at number 5 in the Big Ten, I think that's really huge. The Big Ten is, first of all, a very big conference with, what do they have, like 17,000 teams in it now? But the best of the best are playing in that league. And, of course, you look at the Ohio States, the Michigans, the Indianas that won last year, and to put the Huskies at number 5 is an incredible position, especially thinking about this team that we have right now. We lost some key pieces from last year's team, but we still have some great returning pieces, and so I'm super excited to see some of those guys come back and do their thing on the field, but more excited about some of the new guys that are going to be out there as well.
Yeah, you mentioned the Big Ten being so competitive. If we could take a look at the schedule, they're obviously welcoming in the returning national champions of Indiana in there. But what games really kind of stick out to you, especially in that earlier schedule?
Well, early right off the bat, we look at the old school matchup with USC. USC has always been, going back to the Pac-12 days, USC has always been one of our heated rivals. So that's going to be huge to have them back on the schedule again. We haven't played them in a few years. Iowa's going to be another good game, but again, that's just the first half. I'm looking to some bigger ones in the second half of the season. But of course, first, right out the gate, we got Wazoo, the Apple Cup, which is going to be a little bit weird for everybody. But again, you look at some of these other games in the end of the season. Penn State is going to be a huge game to have them in there. Indiana, the returning national champions, and of course, Oregon. Who cannot get excited about a University of Washington versus Oregon game? Always tough to play down there in Austin, but it's going to be huge.
Which rivalry do you actually enjoy more, the Apple Cup or the one against Oregon?
So I was actually asked about this question the other day, and it was, when we get to play the Cougars in the Apple Cup, it's always kind of like a friendly rival. It's always like a brotherly rival. You see each other, and we battle it out on the field, and it's real on the field, what you see. Then when it's all said and done, we go back to just some friendly banter back and forth. With the Ducks, we don't care about the Ducks at all. Like, there's no love lost. Like, we could really take off the pads and fight. Like, we could, it goes down like that. And it's like that in the stands, too. And I think, it goes back a long ways. I was actually in the game that, in my opinion, turned everything around for Oregon. It was back in '94. We played against those guys. They have the interception by Kenny Wheaton that they play that
You
video
had to bring that up, man.
Every game in Austin, they play that on the big screen, and the fans rushed the field and pushed us. And so it was just a lot of fun. And so with us, it's always on site.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because it does feel like that was the turning point in this rivalry over the years. And I had gotten here in '93, so '94 when that went down, it was like, that's when I was introduced to that rivalry, and it meant so much for the Ducks to knock off the Huskies, especially at their place. But, when you look at this schedule, Terry, and you see teams like Penn State coming in and Indiana coming in, USC and the Huskies are ranked right there in the top 25. They're both kind of 14, 15, right around that mid-teen range. But the preseason polls really don't mean much, do they?
They don't. They give people a starting point, an aiming point, like, okay, this is the guys that are at the top of the list. This is the guys that we're shooting for. But at the end of the day, they haven't played any games. You don't have the same team that you had last year. And especially now when we look at the era of the transfer portal, so many things change in the offseason that sometimes you don't have exactly what you had at the end of last season. And it's not because of graduation anymore. It's because guys are transferring out. But again, you look at the beginning of the season, so many things happen and transpire as the season progresses. Guys get injured. Guys don't pan out. And so some of the teams you see at number 1, like, think about this. Every year, who do we see at the top of the list? Texas. Texas is always going to be the national champion in the year. How many times have they been a national champion in the last decade?
Yeah.
I love
Crickets,
you, Texas.
man.
I love you, Texas, but now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Ohio State is ranked number 1 in the preseason poll. That's one you can believe. I think you can look at maybe the top 4 or top 5 as legit.
I think it just gives the Huskies a lot of credibility that they're even in the top 20 right now in the preseason, because we don't really know what they have. I know that people are giving a lot of credit to Damon Williams as far as being able to lead this team. Hopefully, he can mentally lead this team as well. But I do think that putting them in the the top 20, somewhere in those teens, is actually quite impressive.
Yeah, especially when you get right there in the middle of the pack. You know, it's good for them because they didn't finish with the regular season that they wanted to, but put them at the middle of the pack, it gives them something to fight for. And I remember back in the days when we were ranked right there in the middle often, it gave us like, you know, look, we're getting disrespected a little bit, but we're still in the hunt. Like, we're not so far out when the season starts that we have to do miraculous things this season to prove to the rest of the country that we deserve to be at number one. Right now, at 15 or 16, wherever they are, everybody else is in striking distance for them, and they now have the target on their back. So now let's go get them.
All right, we talked about Damon Williams, and he goes into his second full year at the helm. That's going to be a huge leap for him. I think a lot of people are looking for a big breakout year from him as well. But he's missing one of his key targets in Denzel Boston, who's now with the Cleveland Browns. How much will that affect that offense? Missing a stud receiver like that, who's got that NFL prototype body.
Yeah, I think it's going to, absolutely, he was the crutch for him, right? We always got him. But he did spend a lot of time on the sideline last year with some injuries. But that being said, Damon Williams is a dynamic quarterback. He could take off and run when things aren't available to him. He has definitely some great weapons to throw to, and he'll have some good running backs as well.